8:30. This is WYES-TV, New Orleans. The following program is made possible by a grant from Pan American Life Insurance Company. It's Varsity Quiz Bowl, and today, Sheila Perez, Julie Landry, Gina Morgan, and Lynn Rumsey from PGT Beauregard High School will meet in a battle of quick recall. Chris Strickler, Barry Canton, Hans Jonason, and Scott Zander from St. Martin's Protestant Episcopal School. The alternate from Beauregard is Donna Montalbano, and the coach, Rose Eckerling. And the alternate from St. Martin's is Jill DeMont, and the coach, Wida Muller. And now here's our moderator, Mel Levitt.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and welcome once again to Varsity Quiz Bowl. Another first-round match coming up between Beauregard and St. Martin's. You've met the teams. Let me introduce our judge first, Dr. Ann Akers. Our scorer is Phyllis Hartley, Associate Director of Records at the University of New Orleans. And our recognizer for today's match is Andrea McDonald, a graduate student at the University of New Orleans. Let's have a round of applause for these ladies, too, please. Okay. If you're ready, let's begin with our first face-off. We're leading up now to a lanyap of 20 points. Look at the picture on the monitors in front of you, and we're going to flash them up in just a moment. We have two of them to either side. This is part of a scene from an old movie starring Katharine Hepburn as the female protagonist. She plays the part of a mother who's addicted to drugs. For 10 points, tell me the name of the movie. Based on a classic play. It's called Long Day's Journey into Night. All right. Another face-off, non-visual. For 10 points, what word is both a spice made from the root of a plant and a word used to describe a sandy reddish-brown color?
St. Martin's, Canton.
Nutmeg.
No, close. Beauregard, can you take it? Anyone? Ginger is the word we're looking for. Another face-off. Jude is the author of a New Testament epistle. For 10 points, who's the author of the novel Jude the Obscure?
St. Martin's, Canton.
Thomas Hardy.
You're right. Thomas Hardy, and on the board, St. Martin. Okay, you picked up 10, gentlemen, and here's a chance to add 20 more on this lanyap. The week before Thanksgiving, two disasters occurred in two different states in the United States. One caused great financial loss, but no loss of life. The other caused both loss of life and financial loss. For 10 points apiece, tell me what these American disasters were and the state in which they occurred. You get 5 for each.
The second one is the hotel fire in Las Vegas.
That is correct, for 10. And the other one was the collapse of the Salt Dome here in Louisiana. You picked up 10 more points, St. Martin's. Moving along, we're now going to be pointing for a lanyap at 20 points. This is a face-off and a very quick one. Name Hannibal Hamlin's running mate of 18.
St. Martin, Jonas.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, that's right. He was very proud to have him on his ticket, I'm sure. You have a 20-point lanyap. The year 1979 was one of the extraordinary and unappreciated planetary explorations. In March of that year, we added to our gallery photographs of 4 planet-class bodies. The 4 large satellites of Jupiter discovered in 1610 by Galileo Galilei and Simon Marius. For 5 points each, can you name these Galilean moons?
Io, Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa.
You came prepared. 20 points. St. Martin. Got them all. We have another face-off teams. We're going now for a lanyap at 20 points. The Saints' current season, needless to say, is not going so well. Columnist Peter Finney says that the season will go down in history with football's other bad moments, like the 1916 Georgia Tech-Cumberland game. For 10 points, can you tell me, within 25 points, the record score...
St. Martin, Zander.
222 to nothing.
You not only were within 25 points, you hit it. 222 to nothing. Georgia Tech won, to put it mildly. Lanyap, 20 points. House Republicans elected their leaders in the next Congress last week. The number 1 position went to a representative from Illinois. The number 2 position to a representative from Mississippi. For 10 points apiece, can you name the 2 men?
Ogilvy.
We'll have to have
Smith.
No, it was Robert Michel of Illinois and Trent Lott of Mississippi were the two. We have another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20. On which famous British plane would you be able to examine the mysteries of Stonehenge? Stonehenge. The plane is Salisbury. Salisbury plane, another face-off. A former television Tarzan has replaced Bert Parks as host of the Miss America pageant.
St. Martin, Jonathan.
Ron Eli.
That's right. Ron Eli. Or Ely. We're not going to fault you on mispronunciation. E-L-Y, and we have a lanyap of 20 points. During the past 15 years, he has composed and performed some of the most astonishing music in the history of rock and roll. His name is Don Van Vliet, but in public, with his magic band, he calls himself by another name. For 10 points, what is his other name?
Captain Beefheart.
That's right. For an additional 10 points, 10 more coming up. Name his latest album. Yeah.
Cosmic Kids.
Cosmic. No, that's probably the next one. That's a good title, though. Doc at the Radar Station is his latest. Okay. You got 10 points on that one. St. Martin's, very good. We have another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 25. This is a quickie. For 10 points, what was the name of the first king of Israel?
St. Martin, Jonathan.
Isaiah.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. Beauregard, can you take it? Anyone? First king of Israel was Saul. For another quick 10 points, in degrees centigrade to the nearest 1,000, what is the temperature of the surface of the sun? The temperature of the surface of the sun.
St. Martin, Canton.
1,200.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. Beauregard, anyone want to take a shot? To the nearest 1,000, it's 6,000 degrees centigrade. And that's hot. Here is another face-off for a quick 10. Name the club that announces the winner of the Heisman Trophy. For years and
St.
years
Martin's,
they've done so.
Xander.
The Downtown Athletic Club.
That's absolutely correct. You've got 10 points. They started it, and they still conduct those ceremonies. Here's a lanyap at 25 for 5 apiece in 5 parts. Identify the following people, places, or things. They're all associated with a precious gem. First, the flamboyant American railroad financier of the 1890s and early 1900s, who gained attention for his friendship with theatrical beauty Lillian Russell with elaborate meals and high living.
Diamond Jim Brady.
That is right. The stage name of Sarah Ophelia Colley Cannon, a star comedian with the Grand Ole Opry for many years.
Minnie Pearl.
That's it. Leon Uris's novel of adventure and intrigue.
Topaz.
Correct. The affectionate nickname for Ireland.
The Emerald Isle.
Correct. And finally, the man who killed Lee Harvey Oswald.
Jack Ruby.
That's right. You got 5. 25 points. St. Martin. Here's a face-off going for a lanyap at 20 for 10 points, teams. Which of the following will bounce the highest when it's dropped? A glass ball, a rubber ball, or a solid steel ball?
St. Martin, Canton.
A solid steel ball.
That's right. It will bounce higher than either of the other two. You picked up 10 with a chance at 20 more in lanyap. If you've been watching the WYES special series, Cosmos, you'll be able to answer this lanyap. For 10 points apiece, tell me, what are the 2 kinds of ice that comets are made of? We want the designation that are given to these comets.
Dry ice.
The ice in them.
Frozen nitrogen.
No, the water ice and ammonia ice, they're called, or solid ammonia ice. We'll move on to another face-off. This is leading to a lanyap of 30 points now. November 5th in England is known as Guy Fawkes Day after one of the conspirators in a plot to kill the reigning monarch and put on the throne a man of different religious faith. For 10 points, what did Guy Fawkes and his colleagues try to do?
St. Martin, Canton.
Burn down the Houses of Parliament.
Actually blow up.
Yeah.
It's called gunpowder. Would have resulted in burn, but I don't like it.
You're going to accept it, Rich?
No.
Says that's not acceptable. All right. We'll turn it over to Beauregard. This is a technicality, but I'm afraid the judge is adamant on it, and I think for good reason. Actually, it was to blow up Parliament. It was a gunpowder plot, and the attempt was made to explode the gunpowder. But one way or another, the judge rules it incorrect. All right, we'll move on to a rapid fire now. The buzzer is sounded. You know, in rapid fire, we, if I can get these disengaged, in rapid fire, we ask the questions as quickly as they're answered. If you answer correctly, it's 10 points. If you answer incorrectly, it's a minus 5 points. One way or another, there's only one answer per question. There's no referral on this, as in face-offs. So we continue question to answer until the 2 minutes is up. It's a 2-minute countdown. Now, rapid fire is based on general knowledge of people, places, and things. And the answer to all of these questions will begin automatically with the letter, keep this in mind, G. G is in goody, okay? Here we go. Number 1, slang for $1,000.
St. Martin, Xander.
Grand.
Correct. Southern state.
St. Martin, Xander.
Georgia.
Correct. Lincoln's famous address.
St. Martin, Canton.
Gettysburg Address.
Correct. Historic landmark home on Royal Street in the French Quarter.
St. Martin, Xander.
Gallier Hall.
No, it's Gallier House. Gallier Hall is on St. Charles. Famous 18th century English historian, beginning with G, is Gibbon. The U.S. flag is called Old
St. Martin, Canton.
Glory.
Glory is correct. Where the University of Florida is located.
St. Martin, Strigler.
Gainesville.
Correct. In music, a note added for ornamentation and not necessarily to the
St.
melody.
Martin, Canton.
Grace Note.
That's correct. A mild Dutch cheese made from curds and usually
St.
coated
Martin,
with red.
Canton.
Gouda.
Gouda is correct. Barbed spear used to land large fish. It's called a...
St. Martin, Jonathan.
Gaff.
Gaff is right. Cup searched for by the Knights of the Round Table.
St. Martin, Jonathan.
Holy Grail.
That's right. Islands in the Pacific belonging to Ecuador visited
St. Martin,
by Darwin.
Strigler.
Galapagos.
That's right. 19th century French composer who wrote the opera Faust.
St. Martin, Canton.
Gounod.
Gounod is correct. Pygmalion fell in love with her.
St.
Who
Martin,
was
Canton.
she?
Galatea.
That's right. Germanic people who invaded and conquered most of
St.
the
Martin,
Roman
Xander.
Empire and they
Goths.
were called Goths. British general in the American Revolution. His name was Gage. A rumor building equipped for physical training and athletic games and sports.
St. Martin, Xander.
Gymnasium.
That's right. A flock of geese is
St.
a...
Martin, Beauregard, Landry. Gander.
No, it's a gaggle. Considered to be the first book printed from movable type.
St. Martin, Canton.
Gutenberg Bible.
That's correct. A well-known section of Washington, D.C.
St. Martin, Jonathan.
is Georgetown. Lake in northeast Israel on the Syrian border is the Sea of...
St. Martin, Canton.
Galilee.
That's correct. Poisonous scale lizard found in desert regions of the southwest.
St. Martin, Xander.
Gila Monster.
Correct. The wars about which Caesar wrote a famous history. Well, that automatically ends it. They were the Gaelic, or Gallic. All right. We're going to pause here. We'll be back in just a few moments to talk to the team captains about what's happening at their respective schools. Then we'll resume play in the second half of today's contest between St. Martin's and PGT Beauregard. Stay tuned.
Next time on Soundstage, John Prine, one of the most original and likable personalities in American music.
We lost Davy in the Korean War. I still don't know what for. You bang stomp with a rock and roll, the beat city thing that you ever been told.
John Prine, next time on Soundstage.
See it Thursday night at 9 on Channel 12.
Back again, and we'll continue playing in just a few moments in the second half of our game between Beauregard and St. Martin. Right now, Julie Landry is the captain of the PGT Beauregard High School. I got that out pretty good, didn't I, Julie? She's going to tell us a bit about what's going on at her school, which is located in St. Bernard. Julie?
Well, our school is an all-girls school, and it has grades 8 through 12. And our volleyball team won second place in district,
Good.
and we defeated St. Martin's and won first place in state.
So regardless of what happens today, you've beaten
Right.
St. Martin.
And our 8th grade volleyball team won first place in the parish, and our basketball team is currently undefeated in district play. And we're preparing for Christmas. We're having a Christmas tree decorating contest and a room
Awesome.
decorating contest, and we're having a dance this Saturday.
Well, that gives me an idea that if people in that neighborhood were to drive by your school, they might see some really beautiful trimmings, huh? In the holiday spirit. How old is Beauregard High School? Is it, don't know. Well, you didn't come to school to find out how old it was, how good it was, huh? One way or another, we're very happy to have you with us, and we look forward to it many years in the future. Beauregard High School. Thanks, Julie. You did a nice job. Barry St. Martin's has quite a history. I'm not going to ask you how old it is unless you'll volunteer the information. But
No, that's okay. St. Martin's is a private Episcopal school of about 900 students in Metairie, and the grades go from pre-kindergarten to 12th. And the main event that happened this year is our new library. It burned down about a year and a half ago.
I remember that.
And we're happy to have it back.
That's great.
It's well worth the wait.
Well, you must have subscribed a lot of money from people who really feel strong about St. Martin's, huh?
Yeah, quite a bit. And I was going to mention that Beauregard defeated us in volleyball. But But I'll just say that our football team did okay. We got a great soccer team this year. And
merely great, folks.
Yeah. And after exams are over, after the holidays, we return for a 1-week interim term. That's where students go off campus for, Virgin Islands or Hawaii, or they can take on-campus courses. But us seniors, for the most part, will be at the International Trade Mart. And, well, there is more going on in the spring. Ring Day for the juniors, another National Honor Society tapping, and we're a very active school, and we're proud of it.
I can see that. The community's proud of St. Martin's, too, I think. Thank you very much. All right, if you're all ready to begin play here in the second half, let's go. We've got an audio face-off to start things off, leading up to a lanyap of 30 points. I want you to listen first. I said this was an audio face-off. I want you to listen to the music that I'm going to play, and then I'm going to ask a question, okay?
I got a right to sing the blues. I got a right to feel low down.
Yeah. Now for 10 points. What a voice. Tell me the name of the featured performer you just heard. If you haven't recognized him,
St.
well,
Martin Zander.
Louis Armstrong.
that's right. I didn't even have to give you a clue. Louis Armstrong, after whom they named him. The immortal Satchmo. You picked up 10 points to start the second half, St. Martin's. And gentlemen, you now have a lanyap of 30 if you can identify by clue the following individual. 30 points if it takes, if you get on one clue. If it takes 2, 20 points, and 10 points if it takes all 3. Our first clue is this. He was the author of Beam Ends and Showdown.
Errol Flynn.
How did you get that? That's right. Beam Ends and Showdown. I never got around to Captain Blood, Robin Hood, Maid Marian, the Irish boxing team, and all that. Plus about 17 different paramours, but that wasn't necessary. All right, we got another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20. I've got a gnat here. Goodbye, Nat. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 A.D. destroyed the city of Pompeii. It also destroyed another...
Herculaneum.
That's correct, Herculaneum, another nearby city, which is not heard from too often or heard about. Now, St. Martin's for a lanyap at 20 in 4 parts. 5 points apiece. Give the years in which the following events of World War II occurred. World War II. The U.S. adopts the first peacetime draft for compulsory military service. You're going to have to hit it right on the
1944?
year. No, it was 1940. 1940. Actually, a year before we were taken into the war by Japan. A Japanese destroyer rams and sinks the PT-109 with young John Kennedy aboard. What year?
1942?
One off. It was 1943. D-Day landing by U.S. troops on the Normandy coast of France.
1944.
That's right. On the nose. And finally, the Big Three meeting at Yalta took place.
1945.
Got that one, too. You got 2 of the 4. 10 points. St. Martin. Now, another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20 points, teams. The Elizabethan age of English literature produced many men who contributed to English drama. The man ranked second at Shakespeare is remembered for his lyrics, including Drink to Me.
St. Martin Zander.
Johnson.
That's right, it was. Ben Jonson. Wrote the lyrics to Drink to Me Only with Thine Eyes. And we have a lanyap at 20. All of the following people, both real and fictional, share the same initials. A.A. For 5 points each, identify them. 1. The character in Oklahoma who is just a girl who can't say no.
Alice Adams.
No. Adu Annie was your name. The ailing tennis star who was the first black to gain prominence in that sport.
Arthur Ashe. Arthur Ashe.
That's right. The star and screenplay writer of the movie The Seduction of Joe Tynan.
Alan Alda.
Correct. And finally, the Pulitzer Prize-winning Booth Tarkington novel, which was made into a movie starring Katharine Hepburn.
Alice Adams.
My gosh, she got into that. There you go. 3 out of 4. We got another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 30. This name means great soul in Sanskrit, and it was the appellation of one of the most revered men of our century. For 10 points, what is his name?
St. Martin Strickland.
This name.
Mahatma Gandhi.
That's right. Mahatma means revered soul. Here's a chance to add 30 more, and it's another clue-type mystery question. You can earn 30 if you name the person after one clue, 20 if it takes two, and 10 if it takes all three. First, he voted for the execution of Louis XVI and helped establish the Revolutionary Tribunal and the Committee of Public Safety, which eventually led to the Reign of Terror. Who was
Marat.
it? You did it again. That's right, John Paul Marat. We didn't have a chance to get down to the last clue, which concerns that famous bath he took and never finished. All right, we have another face-off. We're leading up to a lanyap at 30. It's a former London gateway before the buildings that house England's principal law societies. During the peasant revolt, the heads of traitors were exhibited on it. For 10 points, what is the name of this London landmark? This is a toughie. Temple Bar. It's Temple Bar. All right, we'll go on to another face-off. For a quick 10, tell me what ocean is found in both the eastern and western hemispheres?
St. Martin, Xander.
Pacific.
No, right, that's incorrect. Beauregard.
Beauregard, Rumsey.
The Atlantic.
No, it's a little tricky. It's the Arctic because of its small radius at the top of the world. Okay. We have another face-off. He is a gangly singer from the foothills of Meridian, Mississippi, who was discovered at CBGB's, the well-known New York rock club. His first album was Alive on Arrival, followed by Jack Rabbit Slim in 1979, and Little Stevie Orbit this year for 10 points. Can you name him? Can you name him? Steve Forbert. All right, we've got another face-off. There's only one state in the United States which has parishes instead of counties. Do you know what it is?
St. Martin, Jonathan.
Louisiana.
No, afraid not. You'll understand in a moment. I'll repeat now for PGT Beauregard. All right, girls, there is only one state in the United States which has parishes instead of counties. It is, of course, Louisiana. For 10 points, how many parishes are there?
Rumsey.
64.
That is correct for 10 points. You're on the board. All right, ladies.
10 points?
Here we go. Now we got a lanyap of 30 points coming up. There are 6 inert gases, also known as rare or noble gases. You can earn 5 points for each of them that you can name. Now, on a list, we give you about 20, 25 seconds to come up with one list, and then we'll ask for the captain to present it, please. These are the rare or noble gases. There are 6 in all. 5 points for each one you can give. Check off the time here. All right, we're coming up now. And we're going to ask now for a list, please. Captain?
Oxygen, hydrogen, helium, and nitrogen.
All right, helium is correct. Now, the other of the noble gases are neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. But you picked up 5 more points. Beauregard. All right. We have another face-off. We're going for a lanyap of 30. For 10 points, tell me who was the President of the United States when the first intercollegiate football game was played.
St. Martin, Canton.
Taft.
No, probably not. Beauregard?
Beauregard, Rumsey.
Harding.
No. Football's older than many of us realize. U.S. Grant was president when the first game was played between Princeton and Rutgers, I think around 1876. We have another face-off for a quick 10 points. Who wrote the musical composition, The Four Seasons? Four Seasons.
St. Martin, Strickler.
Vivaldi.
That's right, it was Antonio Vivaldi. Okay, you picked up 10. Here's a chance at 30. 8 states in the United States are named for men. There are 3 states that are named for women. For 5 points each, name these 3 states, and for an additional 5 points each, name the women for whom they are named, or were named.
For Queen Elizabeth I.
Virginia for Queen Elizabeth I.
That is correct, for 10.
Maryland for Mary, Queen of Scots.
Continue.
California.
California, is that, no, that's for Dolores. This is a toughie. West Virginia is also named, believe it or not, for Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen. That's where they got Virginia. Maryland was named for Henrietta Maria, the wife of Charles. And I've learned quite a bit just in that one question. I believe we have 10 points that we can accredit there. We'll move on to another face-off. And we're leading up to a lanyap of 30. This man was king of France for 72 years. He was the epitome of arrogance. And he
St.
said,
Martin, Strickler.
Louis XIV.
That's the man. He said, I'm the state. Louis XIV. Lanyap is 30 points. Gentlemen, Because of the unceasing jealousy of his wife, Hera, Zeus was constantly forced to visit his other lady loves under various disguises. I'll give you the name of 3 ladies, and for 10 points each, tell me in what form Zeus visited them. 1, Leda.
Swan.
That's right. I bet he looked lovely. 2nd, Europa.
Bull.
That's right. And Danae.
A rain of gold.
A rain of gold.
Gentlemen, you got them all. 30 points. A shower of gold or rain of gold. Here we have another face-off going for a lanyap of 30. He became the political leader in Western Europe when West German voters re-elected him to another 4-year term as Chancellor
Martin
of...
Sander.
Helmut Schmidt.
That's his name. Helmut Schmidt, Chancellor of West Germany. Coming up, a lanyap of 30. Although it has been credited to Roger Bacon at times, the invention of gunpowder is now credited to the Chinese around the 9th century. Gunpowder is composed of 3 different components for 10 points apiece. Can you name them?
Potassium nitrate. Sulfur. Carbon.
That's all 3. 30 points. Here's another face-off going for a lanyap of 30. An infant has over 250 bones in his body. For 10 points.
St. Martin, Canton.
206.
Right on the buzzer. It wasn't the answer to the question, although you're right about the number of bones that a normal adult has. We were asking for whether it increased, decreased, stayed the same. The bones actually decreased, but unfortunately the buzzer rang and that climaxed the game. Ended it, as a matter of fact. Finalized it, definitized it. We'll look into the validated final score, and we'll be back in a moment to declare the winner, the team that will advance to the 2nd round. Stay tuned.
Dear friend,
for George and Amalia, 2 lonely hearts who found each other through dear friend letters, it was love at first sight. But when they met...
You know, I find it quite depressing that anyone could hate me that much.
Well, not noticeably love. Robin Ellis and Gemma Craven star in She Loves Me as one of Broadway's most treasured romantic musical comedies becomes one of TV's great performances. She Loves Me. You'll love it.
See it Monday evening at 8 on Channel 12.
The final score is official now. St. Martin's 500, Beauregard 10. St. Martin's is the winner and advances to the 2nd round. Congratulations, St. Martin's Episcopal School. A very impressive performance by a powerhouse team. Hey, girls, we hope that you'll be back again next year. This is an extraordinary occasion. You ran into one of the hottest teams we've seen in a long time. You're a great bunch of gals. And St. Martin's, of course, we're going to see you again during the play of Varsity Quiz Bowl. It'll be March, and you will play Country Day in round 2. That should be interesting. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye, everybody.
The questions on Varsity Quiz Bowl are prepared and authenticated by the WIS editorial research staff and known only in advance to the quizmaster, producer, judge, and researcher. All 64 schools participating in our year-long tournament are matched by blind draw. Selections of team members and methods of preparation are the sole responsibility of the schools and their coaches. The preceding program was made possible by a grant from Pan American Life Insurance Company.